If you think your hormones are getting in the way of your results, listen up, because this one big thing that a lot of people tend to ignore makes a gigantic difference. Now, most people, when they say, okay, it's got to be a hormonal issue, they go to their doctor, which they should, and they get tested to see if maybe it's thyroid function or maybe it's something else that might be affecting your metabolism. But then it's not that. And you're like, okay, what do I do? And they're kind of left in no man's land. So they end up falling for the traps of these cortisol supplements or hormone balancing programs, both of which don't end up actually doing anything because they're BS. So now we have these constant stream of letdowns, feeling like, oh, I'm out of control. I just suck at this. I can't do anything right. But throughout this entire process, one thing does tend to get neglected, which can make a gigantic impact on your hormones, and that is sleep. Now, before you scroll, hear me out, because when you don't sleep well, your hormones get impacted negatively. So for example, your ghrelin, that hormone that makes you feel really, really hungry, starts to go up. Leptin, the one that makes you feel full, starts to go down. Your cortisol starts to rise, which also makes it harder to sleep. Your insulin sensitivity starts to suffer, so now your body is not operating as best as it can. And on top of that, when you sleep poorly, you are more likely to make poor food decisions the next day. You're more likely to give into those cravings, which is going to drive those calories up, which could result in adding excess body fat. And when our insulin sensitivity is impacted and we have all this excess body fat, it's basically a setup for prediabetes and diabetes eventually. So what do we do to make sure that this doesn't happen and you finally start seeing all those results that you want? Well, first thing I would do, and this one makes the biggest impact across the board with the people that I've worked with, and that is right before bed, try doing what's called a brain dump. And what this is you take a physical pen and paper, not on your phone, take an actual piece of paper and a pen and write down every little thing that comes to your mind for 5 to 10 minutes. This could be lists that you're trying to remember. It could be frustrating things that happen throughout the day. It could literally be gibberish, anything. Put it all down, get it out of your head. And then once you're done, keep it close, like on your nightstand. So that way, if you do wake up and you're like, oh, I gotta remember this thing, write it down, get it there, and you're like, okay, it's there. I don't have to hold on to that, and it'll make it easier to fall back asleep. And on top of that, it helps to make sure that your environment is supportive of good sleep. So things like making sure it's like a cave, cold, dark, quiet. If you're struggling with menopausal symptoms that are messing with sleep, like night sweats, for example, have a change of clothes ready to go right next to you, so that way you don't have to get up and wake yourself up to go get that set of clothes, or have a fan nearby so that way you can cool yourself off, and you could also push the blankets off as well so you can regulate throughout the night. And along with all of that, let's do the obvious things like not doom scrolling right before bed and not squeezing in that last Netflix episode, turning it off and then expecting yourself to just knock out right away. Okay, have some sort of a bedtime routine that brings your stress level down and gets you ready for bed, and repeat it over and over and over again. And when you do this, not the first time you're probably going to feel a little bit groggy because you have a lot of sleep debt built up and you're going to feel that. But once you stack 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row of doing this, you are going to feel like a brand new person, and it is going to be so much easier to reach your goals because you're going to be operating much better from a metabolic standpoint. You're going to be making better decisions because you're not going to have such intense cravings, and you're going to have a lot more energy, so you're going to be burning a lot more calories as well. So give this a try. Let me know if it works, and I hope that you found this video helpful.